You're listening to the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast, giving you an in-depth look at Missouri Western athletics with interviews, features, game broadcasts, and more. Here's your host, Tommy Rezaj.
Welcome in again to the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. Pleased to be joined by the newest head coach on the campus of Missouri Western State University, hired this past June as the fourth head baseball coach in program history, Michael Keeran, joining us. Michael, welcome. You know, I remember I was on my bachelor party when you were hired, so I didn't read anything about you for at least a few days, but it's good to have you here. Just how are you settling into the community so far?
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, no, it's been great. You know, have the family here, and that always makes life a little bit easier. So yeah, I've really liked the community, the campus, and it's pretty vibrant. You know, it's different having the Chiefs in town. So it's been a really cool experience, though.
Yeah. We'll get into Michael's background a little bit. Joining us after spending 4 years as the head coach at Northern Oklahoma College, a JUCO college there, and a terrific record of 92-28 in those seasons, including 50-9 in 2025. And this will probably sound a little bit like your interview when you applied for this job, but what stood out to you? Why Missouri Western, and why do you feel like you'll be a good fit here?
Yeah, I think number one, the resources, the facilities. I think the aspirations to want to win. You know, high achievers want to be around high achievers, and I think also it's you know, spending time in Oklahoma was a long ways away from home. I'm from Iowa originally, so it was kind of right in the middle. I've spent time coaching in Illinois and you know, North Dakota, so been all over the Midwest, and I think this was a really good spot to just kind of continue things and get this program kind of back on track. And I think it's a sleeping giant. So yeah.
Also a head coaching stint at Bismarck State College, 69 victories there, 2 conference titles. Doing the math, 161-46. Your career mark as a head coach. That's 77.8%. To quote Curt Cignetti, you win if people Google you. But what do you like? What has been the most rewarding part of this journey? Like, what's maybe been the common denominator in these teams that have had so much success? Because it even goes back to when you were a high school coach. You're an assistant. Those are teams winning at high levels. What do you think the common thread is there?
Yeah, I've had some really good mentors. You know, some people took a chance on me when I was young, and you know, you don't have head coaching experience until you get it. There's only one way to get it, and someone's got to take a chance on you. So I'm always super grateful for those people at Clear Lake who gave me that chance to be a part of again, that place again I thought was a sleeping giant as well. And you know, we won 3 state championships in 4 years, so I was a little spoiled to success early on in my coaching career, and you know, that tradition has kind of continued. And I think the most rewarding piece has been just the relationships you create along the way, the networking that you create. You know, it's really cool being at the junior college level when you can turn on ESPNU or ESPN Plus and just watch a plethora of players that you've coached or coached against. So it's been a really, really cool thing. And then, you know, coaching summer ball is the same thing, you know, getting those guys, having a ton of success on the field, but then getting them ready for the next level, whether that's Division I or professional baseball.
Kind of glad you brought up summer collegiate ball, wood bat baseball. You kind of are in a mecca of wood bat baseball here in St. Joseph, with the Mustangs just recently claiming a 10th Mink League title. You played for a team in Ozark, which is no longer in the Mink League, but your last collegiate wood bat game, you were telling me, was at Phil Welch Stadium here in St. Joe, a historic place. And as a head coach, you coach in the Pioneer League, which is mainly Dakota's area, right?
Yeah, Iowa, Dakotas, Minnesota.
Yeah. 171 wins as a head coach at that level. So yeah, you've won at every level you've been at. But what's that like, just to have a town that supports, you know, wood bat baseball so strongly? And you mentioned it. I mean, the connections you make there. I mean, I think that's the coolest thing. I was an intern as a broadcaster in the New England Collegiate League 9 years ago, and like it's so cool seeing where those guys go. But like, tell me about like that connection and just how cool it is to be in a town that supports that.
Yeah, I think the one thing I always tell my players when they go play summer ball is like soak it in, build those relationships. I think the coaches can give you a new perspective. It's not the same voice for 8 months telling you the same thing. But then you have players from different backgrounds. It's just a diverse culture. It can be kind of fun to pick up new things. But yeah, no, St. Joe, it's like you said, the mecca of kind of summer baseball. I mean, they win at a high rate. They support at a high rate. They've got great ownership, great management. So it's something where I'd love to get guys from this program back on there and to show face and to get better. I mean, I think that's what summer baseball is about. Is it's a more of a laid back atmosphere. It's not so cutthroat with wins and losses, but St. Joe does a pretty good job of winning. So it makes everything better when you can be a part of success. I think it starts just to mean more too, is for the community.
Yeah, shout out to owner Kai Turner, head coach Johnny Coy, friends of mine, and they keep that thing rolling at a pretty high level. Getting back to Missouri Western a little bit, no secret, that this program has had a long history. You're only the fourth head coach in 55 years, which is just amazing to me. I've heard it said that Doug Minnis, Buzz Verduzco, that's kind of the foundation we're built upon here. And this is a program that's been trying to get back. 7 straight losing seasons. The last MIAA tournament 2019, last NCAA 2017. What is that? How do you kind of put that challenge to words, and what will this process be, do you think, to get this program back to competing at that higher level?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. It's a question that we're going to continue to try to solve every single day. Yeah. But I think first things first is we just we got to get in there and we got to work. Mm-hmm. And I think shout out to Coach Monroe and Coach O'Donnell. They've done a great job of recruiting their tails off. It's been a collective effort, and we've done a really good job, I think, on that trail. And we're doing everything in our power to be successful. And yeah, it's an exciting task. I don't want to consider it a daunting task at all. It's just an exciting task because this place is had a lot of success. Yes. I mean, like you've mentioned, it just hasn't been recent, and I think it's why I was brought here is because I've done a really good job, I think, of having success relatively quick, very quickly. And I know that in this league, there's no gimmies. There's some powerhouses in this league, but you can't be afraid to strap it up with them and go into a dark alley, so to speak. And I think that's the type of player we're trying to bring in, is just those guys that have a chip on their shoulder. I think if you can get a bunch of those guys that have had a ton of consistency and a ton of success in the past, with that mindset that I have a chip, I have something to prove, I have got some people out there that we have some things circled. That can create a very good environment, very scary environment. We're looking forward to it. Mm-hmm.
I've been hearing a lot about recruiting, and as it pertains to your team, your roster. That this is my 5th year here, and I feel like baseball, it's probably this way everywhere, but baseball to me is always the roster that looks drastically different year to year. You're bringing in guys from 2-year institutions. Obviously, the portal has changed everything. You graduate your seniors, you bring on freshmen. I mean, the turnover from year to year can be significant, no matter if you have a new head coach or not. But I've been hearing that there's going to be a lot of new players, and that there's recruiting rankings out there that are putting us pretty high just based on the guys who have committed to us. Just what would you say the state of this new roster is right now? I know you're still piecing it together, but as it does come together, I mean, how excited are you getting to get these guys on here?
Yeah, I think offensively we're going to be really good. I think it's going to be a tough-to-kill offense. It's going to be multi-dimensional. It's going to be physical. I think we were looking at it the other day. I mean, our average player's 6'1", 200 pounds, 6'2", 200 pounds. So it's just different philosophically than I think it's been in the past. And I mean, we've got a big ballpark, so we've got to be able to have in the Midwest, any day the wind can be blowing in or out 30 miles per hour. So we got to,
especially in Hayes. It's always windy in Hayes. Yeah.
So we've got to be able to win in a bunch of different ways. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to bring on guys that have had a winning past, had a consistent past, have had some skin on the wall. But yeah, I mean, those rankings are really cool to look at, but at the end of the day, they're just rankings, and and they don't really mean anything. And we've got to come in and continue to develop these guys and continue to create a good culture. And I think I'm excited about the hype, but at the end of the day, that's all it is right now, is hype.
So you had been already kind of in MIAA country. I mean, you're from Iowa. You were coaching in, the town's name is Tonkawa? Tonkawa, okay. Some of those Oklahoma towns, they trip me up a little bit. That's where northern Oklahoma is. So, I mean, you kind of already have a pretty good idea of the landscape of this conference. And you're going to be one of 4 new head coaches in the league this year. Pitt, Northeastern, Newman also hiring new baseball coaches in this offseason. But, obviously when people think of MIAA baseball, Central Missouri's kind of set that standard a little bit, what Coach Crooks has done over there. But just top to bottom, what do you make of this league, and what's kind of the key to being successful in this league, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to get really talented players. It's the Jimmies and the Joes at the end of the day. And I think you've got to get a group that's not intimidated by playing some of those top dogs and, that have played really good baseball. It's a really, really competitive league top to bottom, and you have to be able to be consistent. If you're not, you're going to fall pretty quick because there's no gimmies in this league. And there are a couple giants out there. So yeah, I mean, we've had guys go to UCO. My best friend went to Northwest Missouri State, so like I've known how good this league is growing up and starting through my coaching career. So I'm excited to get back into 4-year baseball, and I'm excited for the challenge. It's a really good challenge, and I think we're all really excited for it.
Yeah, you obviously have been at NCAA institutions, most recently an assistant at West Illinois, but going from head coach to a JUCO to head coach here at Division II at 4-year, what have been maybe some of those adjustments, learning curves with that?
Yeah, I think it's just some of the compliance stuff.
Sure.
Truthfully, junior college is the Wild West, like I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
Like, if you wanted to practice for 5 hours a day, not like we never did that at NOC, but if we wanted to, we could. Mm-hmm. And at the NCAA, there are restrictions, and so just kind of brushing up on that. And then I think also I think it's cool. There's not a lot of junior colleges with a lot of athletic programs, mm-hmm. So I think it's really cool to have that athletic department culture where it's, again, you're just around a bunch of competitors that want to see their program be the best. So when you rub shoulders with those people, it just elevates everybody's game.
Yeah. Well, I think about your background, a Clear Lake, Iowa native. When I think baseball in your home state, I think Field of Dreams. I think about the Iowa Cubs. Just kind of last thing, just in a little bit of, this is to get to know you. It's my first interview. I think it's the first interview you've done since being hired, so I'm honored about that. But what was it, just going back to your early days growing up there in the heartland, what attracted you to this game? Like, why baseball, and why'd you want to make a living doing this?
Yeah, I think it's the pressure of you have to be good individually, mm-hmm. but also you could go 0 for 4 and your team wins. Mm-hmm. You could go 4 for 4 and your team loses. So I think it's that battle you have with trying to be a big part of things, but not trying to wrap yourself up in that. And then obviously the Field of Dreams is really cool. As a kid, you go there. I still remember going there the first time, and then we had a good program growing up, and I think that's part of it. And I think there's a standard of excellence in everything you do, and we were really known for football and baseball, so I think that just comes down to it. And then baseball is really cool too, where I was a two-way player, so I think that's what attracted me to the coaching, is kind of seeing both sides, the pitching and the hitting, and it's 9 guys, mm-hmm. and I think you all have to do your part, but I don't know. I don't really know what it is. It's addicting, though. I mean, just the game of baseball can be really addictive, and it's I think the thing that I love about it is you're never perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You always chase perfection in this game, but you're never going to be perfect. So I think for me, it's that constant challenge of how can you be better. And sometimes in baseball, it's like you just have to be okay with nobody's going to go undefeated this past year. I mean, I know Shreveport did it, and that was super cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they're like the first team ever. It's a super rarity, and you just have. It's the only sport I think where you can go into a year and be like, hey, we're not going to go undefeated, but how can we still have success?
Mm-hmm. Wasn't it Coastal Carolina that came into the CWS and they had won 40-some in a row?
Yeah, this past year. They had 24, I think, going into the playoffs.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, it's a sport you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're in the Hall of Fame. So yeah, it's a quirky game. We know that for sure. I guess I will ask you before we let you go. Fall ball's coming up, so you'll get a chance to get on the field and work with these guys. I imagine there'll be some scrimmages and things in there. What's kind of planned for this coming semester?
Yeah, we'd like to scrimmage every Thursday and Friday. Thursday, kind of during the day to simulate a day game, and Friday under the lights. And hopefully people around campus, if they don't have anything to do, they can come over and have a couple foul games lined up. We have the big one is we have a game with Benedictine, who's an NAI for Alzheimer's awareness with Doug Minnis, coaching at both programs. So I think that one will be super cool. It's one of those things that's bigger than the game.
Yes.
So we're really excited about that, and we have a couple others as well.
Yeah, I know Benedictine's partnered with us to do that charity game a couple of years. They'll play again in the spring. I think that's what's happened the last couple of years. So yeah, that's really neat for our neighbors down there in Atchison to do that. And Doug Minnis is what started it, and Michael Keeran is the most recent bookend of our Missouri Western baseball history. And know we got a little ways to go until baseball coach, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being out there this past spring, and looking forward to being in the booth and talking about this team. And we appreciate you taking some time to allow us to get to know you. So thanks again for coming down.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. That's again Michael Keeran, newest head baseball coach for Missouri Western. Thanks again for tuning into the GSI Podcast, and be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and your podcast platform of choice. Thank you again for watching and for listening.